how did I move from passive parenting to active parenting? What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie Appleton. I'm a healthy family advocate. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, reposting videos with your community so that we can grow, as well as putting a tip in the tip jar, purchasing some of the merch, and picking up your copy of What's the Best That Can Happen? All available at LonnieTaylorArt.com or Amazon. Just make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor. This is a great question. Respect that I did not know how to active parent. We have parented in the capacity that we know how to parent, which is a replication of how we were parented, just our version. I had a mother tell me the other day, she was like, I'm not as bad as my mom. Yeah, you're just your version of your mom, and just because you're not as bad as your mom does not mean you're not replicating the same trauma onto your kids. Because this generation, what are they, the crystal children, and the children who feel. These babies feel. And so because they feel, they're more sensitive than we are, and they're more awake to the way that they should be treated versus the way that we treat them. And if you got one of my kids are going to definitely tell you, you're not treating me nicely and I don't appreciate it. My kids have no problem letting me know that the way that you're speaking to me is not acceptable, and I would like for you to adjust your tone. Yeah, it gets real wild over here. But all of that is a reflection or a result of me no longer replicating the master's plan of suppression and repression and oppression within our own home. We literally oppress and repress our own children, and we beat them into submission. But we're not replicating slave mentality in our homes. Mind my business. But when I woke up to that, and I was like, okay, now what? In that meantime, the now what phase, I didn't know what to do, so my kids were running wild. How do I active parent? I don't know what to do. It's never been demonstrated for me. And the things that I'm saying is, unfortunately, is so radical in our community, I can't turn on the TV to figure out what to do. I literally have to make this stuff up. So how do you active parent? First, you recognize the fact that you are passive parenting. Passive parenting can be something as much as I am doing activities, my kid's enrolled and everything, and all these different things. My kid is busy, busy, busy. But what are you giving to your child? What of yourself are you transferring to your child? Because you are responsible for the next human adult to enter society. What is that human adult going to look like? Are you going to put a good little repressed, obedient person who follows direction and doesn't question authority, even though authority is working backwards? Don't question authority. Don't question your elders. Is that what you're going to put into society? Are you going to put someone in society who knows and has awareness enough to question authority, challenge authority so change can happen? So yeah, when Dre's like, these kids don't listen, I'm like, yeah, because we have to teach them to listen. These kids don't know how to act. Yeah, because we have to teach them how to act. I'm tired of these grown-ass kids who think they grown, but they ain't grown. Well, who left them out here to be unequipped to be grown? Like, you had them for 18 years and you ain't taught them nothing? Your children spent 18 years in your classroom and they have left your home and they have no life skills. And it's their fault. I'm gonna sip my tea and keep moving. Moving into active parenting means that your children need to know everything that you know. Moving into active parenting means that you no longer wait until your child is 18 to have those conversations because they're appropriate. No, they're appropriate at their age level from start, because you only have them for 18 years in order to prepare them for the rest of their lives. So active parenting is, yes, I have 4 children. Active parenting is figuring out how Bailey needs to be parented, how Angel needs to be parented, how Michael needs to be parented, and how Kaden needs to be parented. I have 2 stepchildren, so what does it look like for Andre in my relationship? How does it look for Ezra in my relationship? Active parenting moves beyond parenting, actively living your life. What does it look like for me and Dre's relationship? How can I actively and use my brain and effectively navigate our relationship so it can be the best possible relationship according to what we desire between us? How can my relationship with my children be the best possible relationship according to what we both need? we take both into consideration. Both parties are taken into consideration. And that's how you active parent. You get down on the level, you communicate, you let them know, yes, you have to explain yourself to a child. By explaining yourself to a child, now the child is able to create understanding. And now instead of mindlessly replicating what you said, which you're pleased with because you probably are mindlessly replicating someone else, they're actually able to internalize what you taught them, make it their own, and apply it to their life. And now they're living according to their life philosophy, which you helped them develop, instead of I'm just either replicating or repelling what my parents did and said. So that is how I started active parenting. I started getting up and getting on my children's levels and saying, hey, you're not supposed to tear that up. You need to respect your things. Your parents work hard to provide you with the life that you have. You need to respect your things. And it's again and again and again. Dre's like, I'm tired of repeating myself. Well, you're going to have to repeat yourself until it clicks in. You have to understand, for children, first of all, their brains are undeveloped. The logical aspect of their brain doesn't develop until they're 23. Secondly, we have to understand these children, though, are only 4 years old and 6 years old and 11 years old, but guess what? That is 4 years. That is 6 years. That is 11 years of being the exact same person you were, and now you want me to change. It's easier to put it in perspective when I'm 42 years old, so 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 11 years ago, I was this age. To be stuck in a certain space for 4 years, 6 years, 11 years, we get it. But when we look at children, we're like, you're 11, why don't you get it? Let's switch direction. This person has been who they are for 11 years, and it's the only person they've been for 11 years. So when I'm working with Bailey and Angel, my two girls, and I'm like, okay, Bailey is cognizant enough to understand that her behaviors are detrimental to the end result that she wants. Angel is caught in the cycle. She doesn't understand that her behaviors are detrimental to the outcome that she wants. Both of them have a better relationship with their sisters, but what actions are they taking to make that happen? So active parenting isn't me just standing there and saying, y'all guys are going to have a messed up relationship and that's just the way it is because I have a messed up relationship and everybody I know has a messed up relationship with their siblings, so we're going to do that too. We're going to replicate that dysfunction too. Next generation that's not progressing forward, but I'm going to sip my tea and move on. Active parenting is repeatedly trying to figure out how you can reach your children and break the cycle of brokenness. The Black family is not supposed to function in brokenness. We are the most powerful beings walking this earth. Why are we the most dysfunctional? And I'm not us versus them. Why do we even accept dysfunction on any level? I'm comparing my family against my family. I'm comparing my family against my family yesterday. It is well documented. You can go on my videos back in February, and prior to that, you could watch us evolve from February and forward, and I can verse my family then versus my family now. Is my family moving forward, or is my family stuck? If my family is stuck, if my family is replicating brokenness, then that's the family I need to fix. That's the only family you need to be comparing your family to. That's the only kids you need to be comparing your kids to. And you need to be doing the work with your spouse. You need to be doing the work with your children. And if you want to do the work upwards, that's on you. And when I say upwards, I mean the generations before you. My only concern, honestly, is if my family unit is okay and my family unit from me down. So I need to make sure my relationship with my husband is being actively worked. I need to make sure that my relationship with my children are being actively worked. And I'm making those the best possible relationships they can be by thinking. And that, my friend, is your long-ass video and how you active parent. Use your brain. Use your brain. Tupac said it first. It ain't them that's not gonna solve. It's us that's not gonna solve. It's not them that's killing us. It's us that's killing us. You need to use your brain or be a victim. Be a victim in this white man's world. We are the first generation that defines Black excellence as a broken family dynamic, but at least we get in the bag. I can 99.9999% guarantee you that if you are accepting brokenness and dysfunction in your life in exchange for the bag, you are not your ancestors' wildest dreams.